Hillary Clinton is coming out in favor of a higher minimum wage. But unfortunately, compared to some other Democrats running in the race, she's sort of doing the bare minimum. Anyway, she says that she wants to raise the federal minimum wage $12 and encourages other communities to go even higher. You could encourage them, perhaps, by supporting a higher minimum wage than $12, but that's what she's currently supporting, which is better than it currently is. But both Senator Bernie Sanders and former Governor Martin O'Malley have voiced support for a $15 minimum wage earlier this year. Now, there are some other Democrats also in favor of the $15 minimum wage. Nancy Pelosi is one of those. Some others say that they're being pragmatic, like Harry Reid, when they support a $12 minimum. The idea there being that they'd prefer if it was higher, but a 12 is much easier to pass than a 15. But we were talking about this earlier. One of the things that shocked me is Obama is supporting a proposal by Patty Murray, a Democrat of Washington, senator, and Bobby Scott, Democrat of Virginia, making the federal minimum wage $12 hourly by 2020.
Right, which wouldn't, by the way, even if it was $12 right now, that doesn't make up for inflation.
Yeah, it's
right?
not like you're making it rain across the country at $12.
We would need a $15 an hour minimum wage in order to deal with inflation since wages have been stagnated, right?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. And so $12 by 2020, I mean, it wouldn't really mean much. It wouldn't. And here's another issue that I have with the federal minimum wage. In some rural parts of the country, the federal minimum wage at $15 would be an incredible amount of money. It would be a lot of money. It's not a lot of money in cities like New York. It's not a lot of money in cities like Los Angeles.
Definitely.
In San Francisco.
And depending on how many kids you have.
To have like a blanket policy for every single city and state in the U.S., I think, look, it gets very complicated because what are you going to do? You're going to have a different minimum wage for every single city or state? Like, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, in the end, you can do that by having the federal minimum wage and then have state minimum wages as well.
And I know that that's what we're doing right now. But again, $15 an hour, or I'm sorry, $12 an hour or $10 an hour is not much in a city like New York or LA or San Francisco.
Yeah. Now, thankfully, over the past year or so, we've seen some places, some cities, some states willingly raising it to higher. I think Seattle just had the first sort of statistical analysis of the effect of their raised minimum wage. And they showed that it did not cause businesses to shut down. Right. It actually did stimulate their economy because those workers now have more money to go out and buy at Starbucks, I guess they're buying there.
Yeah,
I don't know. They buy stuff.
What happens when you have some disposable income?
I blow it.
A lot of people do. Not blow it, but people feel a little freedom to go out, maybe watch a movie, go out to dinner, treat themselves.
Yeah.
And if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you have no disposable income, you're not going to take advantage of the businesses that are out there that have products to sell you. It's common sense.
Yeah, and it's just a... What's that? Oh, I see what you're saying.
I didn't do that intentionally.
No, yeah, you did. It's shocking, though, the slow pace of Washington that, well, we can get it to 12, but it's going to take... It's going to take, what, 30 years probably, or at least 5 years to get it there. I would like to see, as libs, we raise the bar for our expectations for our politicians. Raise it just a little bit by 2027. And maybe then they'll impress us with their lib credentials. Now, on the other hand, I do want to give some Republicans credit. Senator Rick Santorum has backed an increase of 50 cents a year for 3 years. While Carson says he wants a higher minimum wage but remains uncommitted to a specific number because numbers are so hard to remember. So that's a bold move by the current Republican frontrunner, Ben Carson. Santorum, look, that's not very impressive in terms of how much it would actually raise it. And again, it's over a multi-year.
You're giving him credit.
It's something. It's $1.50 extra. Rather, there are candidates who are saying, get rid of it.
I know.
No minimum wage.
Yes, and those
Make it 50 cents an hour. That's your wage.
Those are despicable people that have absolutely no interest in representing or protecting Americans.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not giving anyone credit for a 50-cent increase. Sorry. Rick Santorum continues to be a questionable individual.
Oh, he's a douche. Don't get me wrong. But he wants a douche to have a $1.50 extra in your pocket.
Why is Hillary so afraid to be a strong liberal?
She wants to show, I think this is actually maybe smart politics on her side, because you would imagine that Bernie coming out in favor of 15 is going to show that he's a stronger lib, which I think that it does. But there are some who want to continue to paint him as the impossible choice, the choice who will not actually be elected. And there are some people, even on the Democratic side, who wrongly believe that raising the minimum wage to a point like $12 or $15 especially will actually cut jobs. And so she can do this to both signal to the business community and Republicans that I'm someone you can work with. You don't have to fear me like you fear Bernie. And to those sort of centrist Democrats, I don't think that actually means anything, but they're there, to say, I'm the pragmatic choice. Look at me being reasonable. Anybody can spout out a high number, but I'm willing to support one we can actually pass.
It kind of reminds me a lot of Obama, right? Like I'm not an extreme liberal. Don't be worried. You know, I'm very moderate in my position. And then in the end, he honestly made the country move more toward the right.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that. I don't want that in a candidate. I want someone who's going to be a strong liberal, who's going to speak out for the best interests of the working class and middle class in the United States.
Yeah.
And look, I do give her credit for wanting to go past the $10 an hour minimum wage and going to $12 an hour. But again, it seems like one of those halfway measures that Obama has taken.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of Obama, except that perhaps she's being a little bit more honest.
Yeah.
Because while he was running, he did get us all fired up. And like you'd hear the speech and you'd be like, oh my God, let's change the world, hope and change. And you get all excited and your passion's rising. And then Bernie comes and Bernie's doing the same thing. You're like, oh my God, like I never figured a guy as old and white would get me all fired up in this way.
Yes.
And then Hillary Clinton comes along to say like, okay, everybody calm down. And then you'll be pragmatic. You'll stay flaccid, but perhaps we can get some policies passed. Not exciting ones, perhaps.
But she keeps the expectations low even during the campaigning.
Exactly.
Great.